Right, Chair Becker, we're live.
Okay. Council will call this meeting to order and we'll ask Chandra to do roll call, please.
Present.
Deputy Mayor Becker.
Present.
Present. Present.
Lamport.
Present.
Councillor Sangster.
Present.
Councillor Walden.
Present.
And Councillor Whetstone.
Present.
Is there a disclosure of pecuniary interest from anybody tonight? Not seen any. We'll go on to the opening statement. Chandra will provide the opening statement.
Okay. My name is Chandra Alexander, the clerk of this appeal hearing. The purpose of this hearing is that during the short-term rental licensing process, a property has been denied their application for a license and the property owner has appealed this decision. This hearing is to provide council with the information they need to determine acceptance or refusal of this appeal. All questions and discussion of council, applicants, and witnesses must be contained to the subject property and the specific appeal being heard. Council will decide on the evidence before it under the provisions of the Statutory Powers Procedure Act, hear and receive evidence from persons involved in the appeal of their denied STR license and any witnesses, render its decision in writing. The decision shall contain the reasons for the decision and will be provided to all parties or representatives who participated in the hearing. If any of the parties are not satisfied with council's decision, the decision can be appealed to a court of law. This is an oral hearing. Any written evidence or document shall be submitted to me and entered as evidence. Anyone requesting a copy of the decision should provide me with their full name and mailing address if they have not already done so. And approximately half an hour has been allotted for this hearing.
Thank you, Chandra. We are meeting today to hear a short-term rental application appeal regarding 72599 Stanley Street. This hearing will begin with a statement from the Manager of Development Services, including a review of the denial and the specific sections of the bylaw the denial pertains to. The applicant will then provide their statement, any evidence, and their ask of council regarding the denial. After both presentations, there will be an opportunity for questions to clarify any of the evidence submitted. Council will then make their decision or defer their decision to a future date. I would ask the applicants to identify themselves in order to confirm attendance.
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for welcoming me here. My name is Bernard. My address is 72599 Stanley Street. I'm the owner, including my spouse, but she couldn't attend here, like due to my kids' sports activities in London. And I appreciate your time to, hear what I have to say. I didn't know there's so many people here. If I made any mistake, please let me know. I'm not good at speaking, but I'll try my best. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I will now have the clerk administer the oath to the Manager of Development Services and the applicant.
Okay. Aaron, do you solemnly affirm that the evidence you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay. And Bernard, can I have you state your full name and do you solemnly affirm that the evidence that you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes. Yeah. So my name is Bernard Mean, and I state everything, nothing but everything true, but yeah.
Thank you. I will now ask Aaron Stewartson, Manager of Development Services, to provide a statement and submit any evidence. And will you be calling any witnesses?
Thank you, Chair. I will not be calling any witnesses tonight. 72599 Stanley Street applied for a license in 2026 and it was rejected. Stanley Street has 6 properties that are addressed to Stanley Street. And 6, the calculation equals 0.9, so we round up, allows for 1 license. A little bit of oddity with this street, And I know Jody, you're showing, you switched to the other map there for a second, Jody. So this is a different map. It's not in your package, council. I just wanted to show you the red diamonds on the street are all addressed to Stanley Street, and the two squares are addressed off of other streets. So there's 8 properties on the street, but only 6 are addressed to Stanley Street, right? One's down to Dutchess and one's up to Queen. This property did have a license in 2023 and 2024. It was not renewed in 2025. So when this owner came back in, there was actually 2 applications in 2026 for Stanley Street, one at 72619, and the other one was this address here, 72599. So as per the bylaw, because there's only 6 properties off Stanley Street or addressed to Stanley Street, it's under the requirement, it's over the requirement of 1. And the license was rejected. Currently, there has been no bylaw enforcement issues with this property, and that's all I have for statement right now.
Being there's no witnesses, I'll now call on the applicant or their representative to provide a statement and submit any evidence. And will you be calling any witnesses?
I don't have any witnesses here today. Is that better? Sorry. Yeah, thank you. I don't have any witnesses here today. But when we rent out our property, to be honest with you, we do it probably 6 weeks out of the year. We never here. We have a family. And when we rent it out, like we basically have a company, like a property manager that filter like the age. There's no younger, like age group that can rent. All property have to be 45 and plus, and I would vet it like when I get the application, like from the renter, right? So that's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you. Does the applicant have any questions of the manager of development services or there's no witnesses? Please submit your questions on the evidence presented. Do you have any questions to Aaron?
Not really, yeah.
Okay. Does the manager of development service have any questions of the applicant? If so, limit the questions on the evidence presented.
I do not, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions from council to clarify any evidence that has been given by either the manager of development services or the applicant? Councilor Weststone?
Yeah, just one for right now is, why was it not renewed? Correct? It came in late, or it was already passed when it went to get renewed, right? It already lapsed, correct?
That is correct. Yeah, no, there was no application in 2025, so it lapsed from expiry, the 2024 licensed until March of this year when the application came in.
So I'm gonna ask the applicant.
Sure.
How come you missed the date, or why did you not renew? Put it that way.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, I weren't aware of the law. I thought I could have just like renew it when time comes, right? Type of thing. We weren't expecting to actually, renew like ahead of time type of thing, right? If we knew the law that once it's expired, we're just gonna have to renew it type of thing, right? To be honest with you, I was not aware of it. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Any other questions from council to that? Councilor Lamport?
To Aaron, sorry, when did they first get a license?
The applicant first obtained a license in 2023 with the first round of the bylaw.
So 2023 got a license, 2024 renewed.
Correct. It expired in October 24th of 2025. Correct.
Right, okay. So pretty well 3 seasons,
Correct.
3 summer seasons?
Yeah.
Okay. And just to add on that question, during that time frame, I think you already said this, but just clarify, there's never been an infraction at the property?
Correct.
Or
There's,
complaints?
that's right. No bylaw complaints.
Okay. Thank you.
Councillor Groot?
Yeah, thanks. A probably question for Aaron. So those couple properties that aren't associated with that street, can you remind me, what street are they associated with on here?
So through you, Chair, the top property with the blue square there is addressed off Queen Street to the north. And the property to the south, which is at the corner of Stanley and Duchess, that other blue square, is addressed to Duchess.
So is that where their laneway looks to come from, I guess?
Correct. So those two properties access off Queen and Duchess. And as per the bylaw, we go by the address point. So, and that's me, if they were included with Stanley Street, two would be permitted on
I
the
was
street.
just gonna say, if they were included, how much impact does that make?
Yeah, it goes from 0.9 to 1.2, right? So 1.2, we have always rounded up, so it rounds up to 2. Yeah.
No, if I could follow that up with one more then. Are those two homes that are on other streets, are they affecting today, are they affecting or standing in the way of other maximum allowable percentages on the streets that they're on?
So through you, Chair, Queen Street, no, neither property is hindering another application. Queen Street, there would be no issues. I believe Duchess is at its capacity. So Duchess is at the capacity for the street, whether this property doesn't have a license, but if it did, it wouldn't be able to get a license anyway, right? Either way.
Mayor Klopp?
Thank you. This is a question to Aaron. Could you clarify a little bit here? You said that there was 72619 applied this in 2026 along with 72599,
Correct.
and they both were denied?
No, 72619 obtained a license, which is the reason 72599 was
Okay.
unable to. I might not have been clear on that.
No, that's fine. I'm a little on the road a bit. What was 72619? Is this the first time that they have a license?
That is correct.
Okay. So, and it came in a few weeks, if I may.
Go ahead.
It came in during the, like, what is the process for a new person? It gets out there, what we open the date on, what date do we open the?
The licenses, the applications can come in any day, so there's no real opening. This was just by chance. These two applications were about a week apart, is really the way it worked out. It was just by chance that the owners of 72619 were able to obtain a license.
So there's no cutoff date, per se.
No.
When is the day that they're all sort of not eligible? They're all up for renewal.
They're all up, they all have their own individual dates. So it all depends on the day we issue the license, they're good for 1 year. So if we issue a license in January, they have from January to January, or it could be in this case for 72599, we issued October 24 and it ended in October 2025.
And when you say October, if I may, is it October actual, like the date, like it was October the 12th, October the 12th,
Yeah, it was October 24th.
October 24th?
Yeah.
Was their cutoff date? Was the date that it was to be renewed?
Correct, yes.
And 72619 came in when?
March 2026. I don't have the exact date when that one came in.
It was in March.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was a week apart or something. I think.
Well, it was the owner Bernard here, they submitted in March of 2026 as well. Yeah,
Oh, I see. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I get it. It's 2025. So to confirm then, if I may.
Go ahead.
The applicant here had October 25th 2025 to get his renewal in for the 2026.
Correct.
And then the neighbor in 2026 of March. So no, I think I'm gonna make an application.
Yeah, correct.
Any other questions from council? Okay. Okay, we'll ask council to rate. Go ahead, Mr. Mayor.
Was this question asked to the applicant? Did you talk to any of your neighbors about this and wanting to apply? And what was their thoughts?
Not at all. So we live in London. Like basically, there's no like interaction with our neighbors at all. Thank you.
Council Weston.
It's more of a comment. I know we've had this discussion before where it's a short street and it limits really how many you can have on there. And in all honesty, I do want to support because it's 0.9, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like to do that. But on the other side, I look at it and say, with the evidence that's been given, is that 2023 applied, knew enough a short-term license had to be there, reapplied for it the next year when it was going to be lapsed, knew enough to do that, but didn't know enough to do it this time around. So I'm just not, I got to be quite honest. The fact that I'm not sure if it was yourself, and I'm not finger pointing at you, Bernard,
No worries.
but when you told me that you didn't know about the law, somebody knew about it in order to reapply that second year. So I'm just, and I do want to support because but I can't get over that hurdle, to be quite honest. So.
Councilor Lamport.
So not to get an excuse for Bernard, but I'm gonna ask, well, Aaron, when in 2024 they renewed, but when did it expire in 2024? Or 2023? Like, is the October date the first date they got one, or did they get one in July and then forget and come late and get one later?
I will pull up the 2023
Or perhaps
license.
Bernard, do you recall?
I will have to bring my computer probably to look at
Okay.
it, to be honest.
Aaron should be able to pull it up.
Yeah.
Okay, so the 2023 license was issued October 24th, October 25th, 2023. And then so 2024 was issued October 24th, 2024.
Yep, go ahead.
So, okay, and I'm just unrelated to that. Thank you for that information. I am gonna make a bit of a statement on just how we've done things before and trying to keep some sort of consistency with the way we've made decisions in the past. Again, this situation has some additions to it with the two properties that are one on Queen and one on Duchess. As you stated, Aaron, Duchess will never get one until people stop having them on the street. They got too many already, or they have enough already. Queen, I guess, could get one, but it's not abutting to the applicant. It's not abutting to the other license, which is a key point in this. So we're back to the idea of the 15%. And if we consider it's 8 properties on the street, I take it the property that's just a park at the very north end that I'm looking at that map.
Correct. That large property is a park.
Okay, so it's not a house. Okay. Anyways, it's 8 properties, which puts it at 1.22, whatever it is. And then there's another license issued. So I'm going back to, and I can't remember the property, but it's very close to here. There was one off of Blue Water Highway that was neighboring, and it was neighboring to another property on another street. And we considered that as a factor that in some ways I'm going to say wasn't fair in some ways. So we gave a license in that case. So in so many words, I'm saying I think I'm going to lean towards giving a license in the case that we got 8 properties with 2 licenses, even though 2 of the properties back onto the street.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay. Councilor Groot?
I do have one, actually. I would think in the same terms, right? Because when you look at the 8 and you think that it's there, but the one question as Councillor Lamport was speaking, when I was looking at the map, it just popped in my head. Is there a chance, like if we're gonna call this cul-de-sac potentially is 8 instead of 6, is there a chance that that corner property that's coming out onto Duchess may have applied for a license in the past and not got it? Because then they may come along and say, well, gee, if we're considered on that street, maybe we should have got one.
Councilor Lamport?
So if that's the case, though, it ought to have come to appeal if they weren't happy, and we would have known about the property, but it hasn't come to so in other words, even if they were denied, they've accepted that and not appealed to us and us, you know, I mean, if they appealed to us and we said no, that'd be a heck of a one. We couldn't possibly offer this license. I would agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, that was the only fear.
But it hasn't come for appeal, so therefore
Yeah.
I don't know, I mean, Aaron can still check, but I'm saying it does matter whether it's come to this committee before.
Yeah. If that wasn't the case, I could support it, but if it is, we just need to know.
Okay, we ready for a council decision on this matter? Aaron, you got a comment first?
Honestly, I was just looking up that address, and so that corner property is 72584, and there has been no applications for short-term rental in our system.
Is council ready to give an order on the short-term rental application appeal regarding 7259 Stanley Street? Approval or denial reasoning must relate directly to the content of the short-term rental bylaw. Councilor Lamport?
Seeing that I made the statement already, might as well make the recommendation, which will be recommend to support. I already said the statement, I just didn't say a recommendation, so I'll put that forward.
Okay, thank you. Councilor Groot will second that. Any other discussion?
Just to clarify, on what is your argument? At least one reason why you're doing this.
Okay, so my main argument is because of other precedent that we've done or other situations where we have granted this when other properties have backed onto the street that we're dealing with. So the person wasn't denied because of those other properties that are, or it didn't hurt them. So that's where the basis is. And I will say to Bernard, I'm not in agreement with your lateness, your tardiness on this. It's not that.
Yeah,
It's
no.
just, we've heard some cases before, and
Yeah.
in some ways, perhaps I'm arguing your case for you.
Yeah,
but the
thank
point-
you. No,
but
I
the-
fully agree. Yeah.
And,
no.
and the point is, if you come back here, I
Yeah.
probably won't support you,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, I just know we've had cases before
Yes.
that are very similar to this, and
Yeah.
that's why I'm
Yeah.
willing to support it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, appreciate that.
There. Bob, go ahead.
Yeah, each one is unique. I hear that argument, although I think we've had others where there was budding too, but we said no. However, for me, the argument is a little bit of the 8, 9, 6 number and the 15%. means one, and here we're talking two, even when there's 6 places there. I know that you didn't say you talked to the neighbors, but I would think that some of us would have heard, because this is out there. But
Right.
we might have had somebody call us, and,
Okay.
and that has happened, and said, I don't want to have another short-term rental in my backyard.
Right.
And I did not get a call. I guess, and nobody else did either. So I will support the motion based on the 15% is just a bit too arbitrary in this case. But I'm in complete agreement. Don't come back and try to get my support if you miss the date again.
Agree.
I'll be that
Yeah.
upfront about it.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
Any other comments before I call Council Westone?
Yeah, and I appreciate where everybody's coming from on this thus far as well too. And as I said, the 15% seems a little bit low, you know, for when you have that small amount on there. But as I said, and I'm going to stick with that as well too, I can't get over the hurdle where the applicant remembered to renew after the first year. Now says forgot. I'm sorry, but that's
No, that's
I'm not
okay.
going to
Yeah,
support
yeah,
this. We
no.
have bylaws for a
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
Put it in your phone, put a reminder, do whatever it is to make
Yeah.
sure that you get your, and so for that, I'm not going to support it.
Yeah,
I think the applicant got the message from
I got it. Yeah, thank
Okay,
you.
so-
I appreciate that.
time to call the question. All in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. If you wish to receive a copy of the decision in writing, please ensure you have registered with the clerk. And this meeting is now adjourned.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, like all of you.
5:57.
Yeah. Thank you.